What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to tell you every single thing that you need to know about living in Boca Raton, Florida, one of the nicest and most upscale areas in all of South Florida. It's pretty much probably one of, if not the top city to live in all of Palm Beach County. And yes, there are some great cities there, but we're going to dive into that here, kind of tell you everything that you need to know, all the different areas, the location, things to do, and of course, the real estate. So let's jump right into it. Whoa. But before we do that, all I ask is that you hit the like and subscribe button, especially if you want to learn more about everything there is to know about eating, sleeping, living, and even playing in not only Boca and South Florida, but Florida in general. So first off, let's start with the location. So Boca's in the southernmost part of Palm Beach County. It pretty much borders right that of Broward County. So it's in a clutch location. And one of the coolest things about Boca is it's one of the larger cities. It goes all the way from the East Coast and the beaches all the way to the West Coast and the Everglades. So you have this huge expansive area, and it is very, very different when you go from everything on the beach side all the way out west, but it still feels like Boca. And you can really feel the difference when you drive either from Del Rey into Boca, or you're heading north from like either Deerfield, Coconut Creek, Coral Springs, or even Parkland into Boca. Like you can tell when you cross over and like, oh wow, I'm in Boca now. Like the whole ambiance changes, and like the best way to put it is Boca's kind of in its own little bubble, and it's not a bad bubble by any means. So this bubble is a lot more upscale. There's pride and ownership. You can just tell in the shopping centers, like it's just a different class of people, and just being around that type of atmosphere once you get into Boca. And that's really what drives people to want to live there, stay there, and even work and play there. And you kind of realize that once you're there as well. So now let's talk about the education. So whether you have a family, you're looking to start a family, or you know someone who's looking to move here with a family, obviously you want to know what the schools are like. So overall, niche.com does give Boca Raton schools an A rating, which is really good. Some of the schools that it does mention are like that of Spanish River, Boca Community High, Donna Klein Jewish Academy, and even St. Andrews. However, if you're my father, you're going to say Pope John Paul II, because you know he was one of the first graduating classes when he rode his dinosaur to school there. Other than that though, they do have some great colleges as well. So obviously they have FAU, with the men going to the Final Four last year, and that was a magical run. It's kind of upsetting though they couldn't finish it, but still to make it, it's extremely impressive. And FAU's honestly grown a ton. I mean, just in the last couple years as well. I mean, think about it. Where else would you rather go to school? Live on the beach and kind of all around everything that Boca has to offer and South Florida has to offer? Or would you rather go live in the middle of nowhere in like Kansas? Yep, I know, FAU. The other sports are great as well, along with the education is good too. On the flip side of that, there also is Lynn University, and there's Palm Beach State College, which also has a campus there as well. And then you have Broward College, which isn't too far at the same time. And then Nova down in Davie, but we'll talk about that in a different video. All right, so now let's talk about the shopping and dining. So the shopping and dining in Boca is definitely top tier. I mean, you have literally everything from like Chick-fil-A and Chipotle all the way to more upscale and fine dining. So probably the go-to place that everyone thinks of is Meisner Park. So Meisner Park has pretty much everything from shopping and boutiques, even a little dessert place and businesses upstairs, to things like that of like iPick, the amphitheater's there. There's a new bowling alley. Trying to think what else people really like and enjoy. Oh, we have Kapow, Yard House. I mean, those are staples of that area. There's even a Louis Bosty not too far down the street that people actually love as well. Same one that's in Fort Lauderdale. Another place you have to go check out is obviously the Town Center Mall in Boca. So it's actually the third largest mall in all of South Florida. It's right behind the Aventura and the Sawgrass Mills Mall, and it's actually the largest enclosed shopping mall in all of Palm Beach County. And they have every store imaginable there for the most part. I mean, there's about 200 plus stores and kiosks to choose from, and they have everything from your Apple Store and Shake Shack and Chick-fil-A and Abercrombie all the way up to your more luxury stores like David Yurman, Versace, Gucci, and even Louis Vuitton. In terms of dining options, I mean, you obviously have the food court, but there's also like California Pizza Kitchen. There is the Cheesecake Factory that's in the same shopping center. And even across the street, there's the Rocco's Tacos. And if you're looking for a little hidden gem in between the shopping center with the Rocco's Tacos and the mall, there's a little bowling alley, and they do have great prices. So that's definitely something you have to go check out. On the other side of everything, there are strip centers pretty much everywhere you can imagine. And they're not like your traditional strip centers where they're run down and they're crappy and they're just like disgusting. No, I mean, there's, like I said before, a pride of ownership. Like everything looks pristine throughout Boca. No matter where you go, you're out east, you're out west, you can tell, like I said before, you're in Boca. And that applies to the shopping centers as well. So you do have everything in those shopping centers, from like Publix to the Greenwise to Fresh Market to even antique stores as well. And then if you're looking for some deals, we do have Goodwill boutiques. There's one on Federal that you can always find a deal at. Sometimes it's hit or miss, but there's always gonna be at least one thing you're gonna walk out of there with. And to kind of piggyback on that pristineness that Boca does have and that you do feel throughout it, like I've said before, one of the big things that has to do with that is the code enforcement. So you won't see a ton of billboards, you won't see any of those ticky-tack crappy signs like we buy cars, all that crap everywhere. Like, they are extremely strict, and some people might not like it, but I definitely feel that it really adds to that pristine and just takes Boca to that next level. Pretty much the only billboard you really see is that one that's right there on the corner across the street from the mall, or it's on the same side as the mall, but across the street from the Chipotle and the gas station. It's pretty much the only one. For the most part, like, everything is clean, it's pristine, like it just has that look of like, yeah, I'm in Boca, and you can really feel it. Okay, now let's talk about the best part. Let's talk about the things to do. So there are plenty of festivals throughout all of Boca. So they have things like the Festival of the Arts, the Greek Festival, the Art Festival at Meisner, the Renaissance Festival, and then my brother's personal favorite, Boca Bash. And Boca Bash is like none other. Like, you have to go to Boca Bash. So it's on the last Sunday of April. It's on the water there at Lake Boca, and it is wild. It's definitely something you have to go and experience and see to believe. I mean, you can look up the videos, but the videos don't really do it justice. Once you're there, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like, it's something you have to go to. On top of that, I mean, obviously kind of tying into Boca Bash, the boating scene. So a lot of things to do, especially on the water, whether you're on a boat, jet ski, paddleboard, kayak, like, you got to get out there. I mean, everyone goes and hangs out at Lake Boca, they anchor out, just kind of relax, hang out. I mean, you can go out the inlet right there at the Boca Inlet, and the Boca Hotel's right there as well. So that's kind of a huge scene and things to do, especially in the weekend. On top of that, there are things like Sugar Sand Park, which is a 132-acre park, has something for everyone. There's the gym, nature trails, playground, water park, and more. Another great place to go check out is Red Reef Park, and this is 67 acres right there in A1A. Another place just like Red Reef Park would be Spanish River Park. It's also on the beach. But going back to Red Reef Park, they do have a golf course there, and even the Gumbo Limbo Nature Center, and they're open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily, so that's a lot of fun, pretty much for the whole family as well. If you're more into plays and the arts, you have to go check out Wick Theater, which has performances and tours. And then obviously golf is a major part of life in Boca. I mean, it seems like almost every community is a golf course community or even a country club community. So throughout the city of Boca, there are 34 different golf courses with 8 municipal golf courses that are open to the public. And then obviously we got to talk about pickleball, because pickleball is growing. So we're getting more and more, I guess, courts you would call it for pickleball. So it's definitely growing slowly but surely here in Boca Raton as well. And now that we left off with the golf and the pickleball, I think it ties right into the real estate aspect of it. So Boca Raton does have like its normal neighborhoods and gated communities, but it is a lot more niche focused neighborhoods. So like I said before, we do have a lot of golf course and country club communities, especially when you're looking and kind of seeing those neighborhoods. You're like, oh wow, $200,000 house. But when you start digging into it, they also have a $100,000 mandatory membership plus other membership and HOA dues on top of that. So that is something to be aware of when you are looking for homes, not only in Boca, but probably also Del Rey as well. But that's another video that we'll talk about. On top of that, you have everything kind of in those different niches. So you have everything from that super ultra luxury all the way to 55 plus communities as well. So when you're thinking about that, you have to know right off the bat that HOAs are pretty much the name of the game in Boca. Like, almost every community has one, and it's hard to get around it. So you just be prepared for that, especially if you want to live in Boca. And then obviously we have everything under the sun, from 55 plus condos to regular condos, townhomes, and single family homes. We also do have a very exquisite waterfront living scene. So a lot of people are actually buying these homes right there on the water in Boca, tearing them down and building these ultra modern homes as well. Not to say that you couldn't find a normal, not so sleek and modern home, but this is kind of the trend we've been seeing, is seeing a lot of these homes kind of getting torn down to the studs and then rebuilt, because it does have that pristine feel to it. Like I said before, a lot of pride of ownership. No matter what neighborhood you go to, like, you can see that everyone really takes care of their home and really wants it to kind of not only stand out, but just they don't want to be that odd man out that's not taking care of their home. In terms of the real estate prices here in Boca, right now the average sales price for a single family home is $1.2 million, while the average price for condos and townhomes is $430,000. So that's everything that you need to know about living in Boca Raton, Florida. So let us know in the comments down below. Did we miss anything that you really love about living in Boca? Other than that though, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice, whether you're looking to move to Boca, move out of Boca, or just move to South Florida in general. You can call, email, or text us. We're happy to help in any way that we can.